Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to UCTV Overtime. I'm Ryan Culloway.
And I'm Ethan Tremblay. Each week we'll give you the latest in UC home sporting events and let you know what games are coming up.
Tuesday, the women's volleyball team traveled to Nazareth College to play in the Empire 8 Championships. Unfortunately, this resulted in a loss for UC. The ending score was Nazareth's 3 to Utica 0. To close out her collegiate career, senior Brianna Toledo finished the game with 5 digs.
The baseball team had a split doubleheader against Utica College this past Tuesday. UC had a rough start to day one, losing in game one. Utica got an early 2-0 lead against Utica's starting pitcher, Daniel Parslow, but UC's offense came back not long after. In the third inning, Matthew Levington hit a single to right, which sent Johnson home. Then Matthew Fitzgerald tied the score at 2 on a sacrifice fly, allowing Joe Batista to score. These runs allowed the Pioneers to take Uca's lead, making the score 3-2 Utica. The Wolves bit back and had a 6-3 lead going into the 6th. The Pioneers were able to tie the game at 6 in the 7th inning, but the comeback was short-lived. The final score of Game 1 was 7-6 Utica.
Come Game 2, the Pioneers were all warmed up and ready to make a comeback to split Tuesday's doubleheader. James Rochalab was the star of the game as he pitched a complete game shutout. He allowed 3 hits in just 7 innings and struck out a career high of 14 batters. The leading hitters of Game 2 were John Sun, Sean Venegas, Zach Kronk, and Joe Batista. In the top of the first, Sun gave Utica an early lead on a 3-run home run. Jason Story hit in another run, giving UC a 4-0 lead going into the second. Utica managed to score 5 more runs by the 6th, while Utica remained scoreless. Going into the 7th, Utica had a 13-0 lead against Utica. Sun made his way home one more time off of a Noah Barber hit into a double play. The Pioneers run-ruled the Utica Wolves in 7 innings with a final score of 14-0 Utica.
Friday was senior day for the softball team, and to celebrate, they swept Elmira in an important conference doubleheader. The Pioneers scored a combined 24 runs on 26 hits in the pair of run rule wins. These victories improved their overall record to 11-7 and in conference play 6-6.
Utica crushed Elmira in the first game in just 6 innings. Jordan Conti was on the mound for the Pioneers. She allowed 7 runs and struck out 6 of the Soaring Eagles. Utica's Game 1 leading hitters were Emily Joss, Sarah Strosky, Megan O'Keefe, and Julia Phelps. Joss went 3 for 5, scoring 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and doubled twice. Stronsky went 3 for 4, and Phelps scored 4 runs. The final score of Game 1 was 15-7 Utica.
In the second game versus the Soaring Eagles, Utica brought in another win with a final score of 9-1. The team had a 6-0 lead in the first 3 innings. Senior Gabby Kakamo allowed just 1 run and struck out 4. She has remained undefeated at 3-0 this season.
On a cold and rainy day, the field hockey team fell to Nazareth this past Wednesday, knocking them out of the Empire 8 Conference Championship in the first round of the tournament. The Pioneers had some early chances, but the Golden Flyers netted the first goal of the game. Naz was up by 3, and Utica remained scoreless until Madeline Crescidlo put one back at 22-17. Utica was still down by 3 going into the 4th period, but Sabrina Whitehouse managed to score another for the Pioneers off of Shannon Jedrichik's assist. The final score was 5-2 Nazareth.
The Utica Wolves feared the Moose on Tuesday after the women's lacrosse teammate Samantha DeCondo dominated the game, making 7 goals. The final score was a whopping 22 for Utica and a mere 2 for Utica. On Thursday, SUNY Delhi came to Utica to face off the men's tennis team. The Pioneers were able to have an impressive day, pulling off their first win of the season. Utica was able to win all the doubles matches that were played. Junior LJ Nuzzo and Austin McGrain had a close doubles match but won 8-5. Second doubles, Makai Medici and Ethan Tremblay won with ease 8-2. Third doubles, Josh Palmer and Brad Litz also won 8-2. Josh Palmer, Makai Medici, and Joe Shirley and Brad Litz all won their singles matches. And with those wins plus the doubles secured the first win for Utica tennis team. These guys had a long weekend the following days. We played against Hatton and Nazareth. On Friday, the men's team was home taking on the first seed Houghton Highlanders. Even though it was not the results we were looking for, we still had some close matches. First doubles match, LJ Newsom and Austin McGreen fought hard but fell in a close match with a score of 8-5. Senior Mikhail Medici also was in a close match in fourth singles match, falling in 2 sets by a score of 7-5 in the first and 6-3 in the second set. The final score of the match was 9-0, a loss for the Pioneers.
Our Utica College men's golf team made an outstanding showing in Baldwinsville Saturday in both the individual and team championship contentions. Senior Josh Kynes took the individual lead, winning the first Empire 8 individual championship in program history, concluding the 36-hole event at 634 strokes. Congratulations to the men's team, for taking home the win.
Sunday, UC's women's golf traveled to compete in the Northeast Women's Golf Conference and finished 5th just before Hudson University. Abby Ainsworth came in 3rd with her overall strokes totaling 89. For the UC team, local students Miranda Kunda and Hannah Kirk ended in 3rd and 4th, respectively.
In Cortland, the women's track team competed against the SUNY Cortland Red Dragons this Saturday. Overall, UC claimed 4 first-place titles and set new records in the shot put matches. Sophomore Jane Fay set a season best of 33.25 meters in the discus throw. In the 800-meter dash, Alyssa Winberg ran her fastest time of her collegiate career at 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Continuing at Cortland for the Cortland Classic meet, Sunday, the men's team continued their winning streak for Utica, heightening 2 athletes running in the decathlon. Kyle Saworski broke the previous record held by Chase Pecoro with 5,877 points. Pecoro also broke his personal record at a total of 5,700 points, holding the holding record was 5,660 points.
Today, all teams have the day off of games, but are definitely preparing for a week packed full of games. Tuesday will lead for games in men's golf at Elmira College. Time is to be determined. The baseball team will be in Rochester fighting for the victory against St. John Fisher. The game is scheduled to start at 3 p.m. Women's lacrosse will be holding a home match against Utica College. Start time is at 7 p.m.
It's hump day. Whoop whoop. Softball team will be playing a home doubleheader facing the Russell Sage Gators. Scheduled games to be starting at 3 and 5 p.m. The men's lacrosse will be also playing on home turf at 4 p.m. against Nazareth College.
Thursday, softball will be competing in a doubleheader facing the Cazenovia Wildcats at 3 and 5 p.m. Men's tennis will be traveling to Delhi to compete against the SUNY Delhi team at 3:30.
Friday, to close out the month of April, women's lacrosse will be competing in the Empire 8 semifinals. The time and the team is to be determined.
To kick off May, softball will be playing home versus the Houghton Highlanders. Game times at 1 and 3 p.m. Baseball will also be playing a doubleheader against St. John Fisher in Rochester at 1 and 3 p.m. Men's tennis will be in Alfred playing against the Alfred Saxons. Time is to be determined.
Sunday leads for a doubleheader again for the baseball, but this time is on home turf against St. John Fisher. Game times are at 1 and 3. The men's tennis team will be also at home playing against St. John Fisher as well. Matches start at 1 in the Dome. Both men and women's track teams will be at Cortland for a meet. Time is to be determined. The women's lacrosse is scheduled to compete in a Empire 8 championship. Time and team is also to be determined.
And that is going to wrap up today's showing of UCTV Overtime. Good luck to all of those who have games scheduled for this week.
Be sure to watch the live streams on ucpioneers.com.
I know I'll be watching.
Thank you all for tuning in, and always remember to
Fear the moose.